Hey, this is APA Unit 4A for CollectionDX.com. In this review, I will be highlighting the transformation, special features, and other notables of the Deluxe Jungle Master Megazord from the 2008 television series Power Rangers Jungle Fury. Once again, I would like to say thank you very much to Vivian of the Rogers Group, which is a public relations company associated with Bandai America. She came through once more and delivered this wonderful sampler for me to cover for y'all. So, Vivian, thank you very much once again. That disclaimer aside, we instead have three different animals from very different climates. We have the penguin Zord, the yellow penguin, I'm not sure. We have a gorilla, and we have an antelope. Unlike the three wild cuts from the Deluxe Jungle Pride Megazord, these animals are, well, obviously very varied. These animals have great surface detail on them that was not lacking, but it seems out of place. For example, the antelope has a molded-in spring, and it's got servo motors on it, and then it has wheels on it. So I mean, it's a little more mechanical, even though they're supposed to be spirits. I don't think animal spirits are supposed to have servo motors, vents, and wheels. But they do nonetheless, so you just have to deal with it. For the gorilla, he also has wheels on him. And unfortunately the legs do not pose. This joint here is for the transformation only, so the only posability you have is a little bit in the face. If I lift it up too high, you'll be able to see the Megazord's head in there. So you can play around with this. You can turn these. Again, that is for the transformation. But really the only posing option you have is these, which snap relatively comfortably at every 45 degrees. Unlike the red tiger from the Jungle Pride Megazord, the gorilla also has an electronic battery-powered feature in it. However, unlike the tiger, this feature can be used both in Megazord mode and in the animal spirit Zord form like this. However, this time there is no button to push up here. This, by the way, this is the battery compartment back here, which is buried inside of the torso, which, hey, that's much better. That's what I was expecting last time, not some stupid-ass fanny pack. That was real stupid. So the switch is here, but you don't have buttons to grab onto because the feature that drives this, it is not a torso twisting feature. All you can do is just turn it on and off. So don't fall, don't fall, don't fall, don't fall, don't fall, don't fall. Okay, he didn't fall. The gorilla's motor is also powerful enough that it can do this. Check this out, check this out. How cool is that? I like that too. So this is why the arms are spaced so far apart. That's pretty cool. I would call that pretty cool. That's also why he's got 6 wheels on him. He only needs 4. But I would call that pretty interesting. I mean, it can drag itself around without having... It still uses wheels to move, to keep itself balanced. But otherwise, it's using its arms to move around. That's pretty original. That's a pretty cool idea. So, and that's why, that also is unfortunately why it is that the arms can't twist outwards. I mean, that's all they can do. So you can, they still click, but they also have the motorized action in them, but you can't turn them outwards. Now the common complaint is the elbows don't twist. The elbows don't bend forward and backwards. So I don't blame Bandai for not giving us the posable knees. I forgive you for that. But that is completely unforgivable. Completely unforgivable. And next we'll be dealing with the Antelope. It's similar to the yellow cheetah and blue jaguar. What else is a cheetah but yellow? It's got ratcheting shoulders, which are nice. It's at, every 45 degrees, which is nice. The head can also tilt up and down, so it actually locks there with a little bit of give, and then it goes there. And then, just because of the transformation, you can also tilt the head back, so he can look like he's, oh yeah. Leap, leap, bound, leap, leap, bound. Ava, that is very sad. No Lion King this time, folks. Yeah, the back legs, however, are not quite as reliable in how they twist. It stops there for the first time, and then it doesn't really lock in any, shall I say, reliable positions. And then you have the 4 transparent orange wheels on it, which, yes, it can roll around. The antlers and the ears are the only PVC parts on it, so I guess I kind of like the blue guy best of the 3 again. And finally, we'll be dealing with the penguin. The penguin is actually composed of 2 parts. It just attaches to that little peg right there, and that's it. Penguin is sufficiently cute, complete with a valentine on the front. How very uncharacteristic of the ranger who controls it. Although the cute thing is that she's wearing earmuffs, which that's cute. I like that, actually. The only posability is in the neck because of the transformation. So can no, I guess I can't. And then the flippers here, the wings. Yeah, they're wings. The wings can free twist. Free twist that way, and then they snap twist forward and backwards all the way around. So that's the only posability in the penguin. Now, kind of odd thing here is the flying surfboard, or whatever it is, flying board, has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wheels as opposed to 6. I don't know why it has 6. So, and then you just carefully snap this into her butt, and then that's it. So that can also roll around. Whee! Cute. Penguin and an antelope walk into a bar. I'll leave the rest to you. There's one action feature which it's kind of funny and it's kind of not. I don't know. You make sure you do this with the antelope so he's not really bounding, but he's in a free dive mode. And then you'll notice there's this very long, generous tab sitting back here. And what you do is you take this tab and you stick it in the antelope's butt. Realize that this toy originally came from Japan, ladies and gentlemen. Contemplate that as I do this. And the reason it does that is because in the series, the penguin's surfboard gets up behind the antelope, but the antelope is supposed to kick it. But I suppose they weren't able to design a convincing toy where you could have the antelope kick the penguin's surfboard. Ew! Transformation is as follows. It's a little tricky the first few times to figure out how to do this, but best thing you do is move the back legs forward first, and then everything locks into place. Now, the reason you put the back legs in first before the front legs is because those back legs will bounce into the ears. So make sure that the head is pointed forward. And the way you reverse this, the way I reverse it, is pull down on the lower leg, or the front leg, and then you could flip this around. So, okay, that like that. Next is the penguin. Penguin, completely different transformation. Pull that off, head goes up. This folds around. Hey, what do you know? That very generous peg disappeared. You pull this off and set it to the side. You notice there's the holes on the side here that are identical to the one, way down here. So you just slip this in here, and that locks like that. And it'll only lock, the two halves were here will only lock into position when the penguin is there, not when. If you did it without the penguin in there, then it wouldn't snap into place. I hate it when you move little parts around just for the sake of having something that looks cool like this. Just kind of meh. By the way, I like that flaming decal on there. That's cool. What flaming decal? Well, you'll find out in a moment. That flaming decal. Got all that glittery stuff on it, which is cool. And the combination, the way it combines, is the same as when it was, as the Jungle Parade Megazord did. Fold this back. I'd like to take a note here real quick. That head, the photos look clearer in the text review on CollectionDX.com. The video looks better, or the pictures look better, but that actually kind of looks like a nice head all by itself. And then the cool thing is, put the helmet on here, and you get this wicked-ass helmet, and now you get the Deluxe Jungle Master Megazord. Is it just me, or does this guy look like he would belong in the TV series American Choppers? Flames on his heavy leather jacket, elbow pads, shoulder pads, frackin' helmet with an awesome flame horn and a transparent visor. This guy is begging to be loaded up on a big pig. Posability is as follows. We already know about this, and this can do this, and this can do this. No head articulation, no waist articulation. Okay, there was no excuse this time for lack of head articulation, lack of elbow articulation, lack of hip articulation. Okay, there was no excuse for any of those. Bandai, should I even bother saying it? Okay. As you may or may not have noticed just now, when you twist the arm forward, the shoulder armor twists in the opposite direction. That's pretty cool. I like that. And that's all there is to the posing of the Jungle Master Megazord. I've already shown you the motorized action feature with the gorilla, but things act slightly differently in this mode. Like I said, I like how those things spin. And so it acts the same way. I'd call that pretty cool. That's a pretty cool idea. I like that. And then there's the action feature for the Jungle Master Megazord. There is one other feature that bears mentioning in this review, and that is that you will never see this in the series. This is the Deluxe Jungle Pride Megazord. You can actually see there's a bit of a height difference here. That's pretty cool. With the Jungle Pride Megazord, originally you had these tabs that you would have to pull down on in order to separate them. This prevents the super kick from kicking the legs out. Now, what I haven't shown you yet is that the Antelope and the Penguin also have these. Well, why would they be there? The Jungle Master Megazord can't do a super kick, or can it? Well, this is because you can do limb swap. And like I said, you can't do this in the series. Or I should say it doesn't do this in the series. But just know that the option is still there. And I'm sure that if there had been a deluxe-sized version of the Wolf, I'm sure it would have been fine with a limb swap as well. By now we know that the Deluxe Jungle Pride Megazord has three animal accessory Zords that could attach to it, attached via these holes on the shoulders, these holes on the upper torso, this peg under here, and then it had these 4 thingies there, had a peg on the shoulder there. Well, the Jungle Master Megazord has them in the same places. It's got these here, got them there. It lacks the post under the neck because the head doesn't fold forward. But what you're going to do is, you're going to take this off, and the shark would still come down on top of it. So get on there. Of course, you take these things off, and then you have peg equivalents there, and it could accept the holes there. Well, unfortunately, Bandai America did not release the original deluxe-sized figures, and so you had to American audiences, you had to go to Japan and get the Geki bat, Geki elephant, and the Geki shark, and the Geki wolf in order to do limb swapping and things like that, the armor upgrades. Well, of course, these things cost, $50, $60 just to import. Regretfully, even though Bandai America came with an answer in the form of the transforming series of Zords, which are scaled down, fewer features, but they transform in an identical way. I do a glowing review of it on both CollectionDX.com and YouTube. Unfortunately, even though you get the deluxe-sized versions, you didn't get the deluxe-sized armor upgrades. So, what am I getting at here? Regretfully, Bandai America did not release a transforming scaled version of the Jungle Master Megazord. They did it with the Rhino Steel Megazord, which sucks. I hate the Rhino Steel Megazord. Oh yeah, by the way, there's a deluxe-sized version of the Rhino Steel Megazord, and then there's a transforming size of the Rhino Steel Megazord, but they didn't release a deluxe-sized version, or transforming size version, of the Jungle Master Megazord, which, so, in conclusion, in case you're wondering, because I made the mention last time, the original Japanese version of this guy from the 2007 Super Sentai series, Juken Sentai Geki Ranger, the original Japanese version of this guy was the DX Juken Gatai Geki Fire, which explains why he has all these flames all over him. In case you're wondering, this guy is perfectly identical to the original Japanese version. Perfectly. Spot on, okay? All paint apps, all features, all materials, everything. It's exactly the same. There was no die cast. There was no light up feature. It would have been nice if there had been a light up feature in there, but oh well. Or maybe the horn had lit up. That would have been cool. But otherwise, the only electronic feature was the spinning arms, and that was it. So this guy is cheaper. It's easier to obtain for American audiences. So believe it or not, I don't have a DX Geki Fire. I'm going to keep this guy instead because this guy was about $30 cheaper, and it's perfectly identical. Yeah, it didn't come from Japan, but hey, I can deal with that. But it is also a nice thing to note that this thing is an original design from Japan. Was brought over here exactly the way it looked over there. That was a good thing. Okay. This one does well. It's okay. The simplistic design, yeah, that kind of hurts it. But compared to the Jungle Pride Megazord, this one actually has it beat a little bit. Actually, I wasn't going to get the Japanese version of the Jungle Pride Megazord. I wasn't even going to get the Jungle Pride Megazord. I got it as a sampler. I had no interest in getting either version. But I was interested in getting Geki Fire. But I got this because, well, aside from the fact that it's a free sampler, thanks Vivian, it's perfectly identical. This was what, $49.99 or something like that off the shelf. The original Geki Fire was like $50, $60 something or other off the shelf. Then you had to import. So this has its obvious advantages. As for the toy itself, it's a simple enough design. I like how these things twist. That's kind of neat. I like how the wrists turn. I like how this thing can walk around all by itself in gorilla form. The antelope kicking the penguin, well, I think I said enough on that issue. The combination is too simple for my taste, and the Penguin and Antelope don't take up enough of the transformation. And most of these nitpicks are similar to the reason I didn't like the Deluxe Jungle Pride Megazord. So, yeah, that's about it. This is AV Unit 4A for CollectionDX.com, signing off.